Hello students, this is Asha from Learners Gurukul. I'll be teaching you English for CBSE 9th standard and today our topic is the Lake Isle of Innisfree. This is an important chapter from exam point of view. We can expect at least 10% of question from this chapter. Thus this is a very important chapter for you to understand the concepts. Let's get started. So this is William Butler Yeats. He is a poet of this particular poem. So he was born at Ireland on 13 June 1865 and died at France. As he is a poet, he wrote some famous poems such as The Second Coming, Lake Isle of Innisfree, Sailing to Byzantium. So he had his high school education in National College of Art and Design. So let's see how the poet has said regarding this poem. This poem is about an actual place near the coast of Ireland, the Lake of Innisfree, which is a small and uninhabited island on the Lake Loughill in County Sligo. This watery landscape is where the young Yeats spent a lot of time as a child, and the idyllic memory remains strong in his mind. The poem describes the isle as a much favorite place for peace, solitude, natural beauty, where each feels highly elated. If you take the structure of the poem, it has three stanzas. As it has three stanzas with four lines for each stanza, we call this as quatrains. The rhyme scheme for each three stanza differs. A, B for first stanza, C D for second stanza, E F for third stanza. This full poem, if you take, it has a tone of peaceful, thoughtful, expectant, and harmonious tone. So as it is of three stanzas, each stanza has something, a message, some kind of message. In the stanza 1, the speaker describes the physical location of Innisfree, where he wishes to live alone in a self-made cabin. In stanza 2, all the qualities of this new life are stated. The speaker needs peace, so the pace of life will be so slower. So nature will take over in the second stanza. Whereas the third stanza, the speaker reiterates the need to fulfill the wish. Even as he stands in the traffic among the crowd, he longs for that idyllic island on the lough. Let's get started by reading the stanzas, its meaning, and then the summary. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 windrows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the bee-loved glade. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree. A small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 windrows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the bee-loved glade. So what is the meaning of arise? Standing up. Wattles. Twisted sticks, which is used for making fences as well as the walls. So when you have an open space, you call that one as a glade. And you all would have heard the bee sound or the buzzing sound of the bees. that is here mentioned as be loud. So in this stanza, you can see the picture and you can understand how the island looks. And if we are in such kind of place, how will be our heart? Here in this poem, the poet is a speaker of all these lines. So he expresses that he has an intention to go to the small Ireland place. And this particular place we call as Innisfree. So he wants to go to this particular small village which is in Ireland, or you can even tell it is a small separate place out of the country side where you can find a very calmness which relax your mind. So he tells that on this island he wishes to build a cabin, a modest cabin which made out of clay and bundled twigs. So the speaker hopes to plant 9 rows of beans in a clearing which will buzz with the sound of honeybees tending to a nearby hive. So, as he's in island, suppose he wants to go to the island, and you know very well what will you do for your food. So he wants to plant 9 rows of beans for his food, for cultivating all those things. He just wants to place all these things where even by seeing the flowers when it blooms, the honeybees will be coming there in search of taking honeys. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veils of the morning to where the cricket sings. There, midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of lanest wings. What is the meaning of veil? It is a piece of fine material which is worn by the women to hide their face. Even you can refer that the mist which comes in the morning. And cricket, you know, like it is an insect which is related with grasshopper, with which has a short leg. And linnet, it is a small gray bird which is in brown color. And glimmer, which is like something which is shining, we call as glimming. So here the poet tells he needs peace. Reason his mind is fully occupied with the countryside works and the sounds which is produced in the city life. So he wants to have a peace, a relaxation. So the speaker believes that he needs peace, and little by little he slowly emerges like a hazy mist which comes in the morning and which falls on the crickets. Crickets, you know what is cricket, like a small insect chirp, the sound which it makes. On this island, light from the stars flicker very beautifully when you see those things at the middle of the night. The sun glows with a purple hue at midday, while the little birds flutter about in the evenings. See how beautifully he has described the nature. You could see the stars at night, which is flickering on the sky, the sun, which glows with a purple color, according to him, during the mid of the day, and how these little birds flutters at evenings. So, when he hears or when he is having an intimate with the nature, he finds peace. I will arise and go now for always night and day. I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep heart's core. So here Night and day means all the time. So here lapping resembles striking. The innermost part of the heart we called here as heart's core. Core in itself, the meaning of the core, it's like you are going to the core. That means innermost part. So now the speaker, what is his intention? Like he wants to get up and he wants to go to this particular island in Innisfree. He explains that he has to be there for the whole day as well as the night. All the time he wants to be there. The speaker imagines hearing the lakes, the waves which is produced on the lakes. He could hear that. Actually, this is an imagery poem, right? So he could hear the sound of the waves which is produced on the lake. As the speaker stands on the road or on the paved places in the city, he imagines the sound of the lake, which lingers in his heart deeply each and every time. Thus, he has a beautiful memory regarding this island. So, what are the poetic devices used in this poem? Let's see. So, the first poetic device, what we are going to see is imagery. The poet creates images in the minds of the readers to stress on a particular point. It is a strong visual or an imagery. So, these words, such as veils of morning, midnights, all glimmer, noon a purple glow, evening full of linnet's wings. So all these lines you can visually imagine even like how the morning mist will come covers our face, how you could see the stars at night, the sun during daytime, and how the birds makes noise at evening time. So all this you can visually imagine. And this auditory imagery means where we can hear. Okay, that means like you can sense by hearing. So you can hear the sound of bees, right? So bee loud glade, cricket sings, the sound of cricket, and lake water lapping, the again the sound of lake water. So here these all lines gives you a clear picture of the place, that the sense of inner peace and harmony. When you hear and when you sense all these kind of things like related with nature, obviously we will have an inner peace as well as a happiness. Next is metaphor. So here the poet tells about the metaphor, like indirectly he is comparing two things. Dropping from the veils of the morning to where the cricket sings. Veils of the morning means the mist as well as the clouds which is formed on the morning, I told you. Okay, so it is a metaphor. Next is the alliteration, like continuous consonant sounds in the same line, the repetition of consonant sound in same line close to each other we call as alliteration. So hive and honeybee, lake and lapping. So her and her sound, the first line, and in later la and la sound of lake as well as lapping, the first consonant sounds. We call that one as alliteration. Next is the repetition. I will arise and go is repeated or repeated in stanza 1 and 3. So it is called repetition. You know very well when a particular line is repeated anywhere in the poem, okay, more than once, then we call that one as a repetition. So what is a message you learn from this um, poem is that the world we live today is polluted with noise and dirt. We must learn to appreciate the beauty of nature. In the midst of nature, man will be able to find peace and solitude. Just like the poet, we yearn for a natural retreat away from our stressful life. So the poem relates to the theme that he needs or he wants to return to a simple life. The payment's grave and the road away are compared to the lake water lapping. So this poem specially tells you about the escapism from the busy life, from the current situation he wants to escape, and he wants to return back to his childhood state, which will not happen again in this world. So suppose if it happens, that particular age when it returns, everything will be so easy for him and simple thing for him. So he wants from the that means he needs escapism from this world and he wants to go again back as a child and to enjoy the nature and doesn't want to be in this busy state. So finally this chapter is done and I'm sure you actually read it. If you read in the textbook, it is quite a lot of study for you. But believe me, it is not that much difficult for you if you understand the concept. All the teachers of here, Learners Gurukul, are always willing to help you. So let us know if you have any doubt or need some clarification. You can go to our comment section. And for queries, you can visit www.learnersgurukul.com or you can email us at learnersgurukul@gmail.com. And if you have any doubt, you can go through the presentation and can also listen it again. Thereafter, make sure to take quizzes to see if you're ready for the next chapter. Thank you. Have a nice day.